The man behind the name. Imagine a ruler whose decision changed the course of history. Pontius Pilate, the man who tried Jesus, is a name surrounded by mystery and controversy. But what led him to make such impactful decisions? What was his relationship with the powerful Roman Empire, and how did this influence the trial that marked the history of mankind? In this video, you'll discover the forbidden truth about Pontius Pilate, delving into surprising details about his trajectory, the dilemmas he faced, and the tragic outcome of his life. Get ready to understand how the context of the Roman Empire shaped his actions and why he remains such a debated figure. Stay until the end to uncover these secrets that many avoid telling. But before we dive into this fascinating story, make sure you're already subscribed to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our videos full of historical trivia. So, let's get started. Pilate's origins. From the Wasteland to Judea. To understand Pontius Pilate, it is essential to know his origins. Originally from Sano, a region in central Italy, Pilate probably came from an influential family linked to the equestrian order. This ancestry indicated not only social status, but also rigorous military training, preparing him for the challenges he would face in the future. The Sano region, known for its military traditions, may have shaped Pilate's disciplined and strategic character. His education probably included not only war tactics, but also a deep understanding of public administration, essential skills for governing a province as complex as Judea. In addition, the possible connection to ancient families of Samnite leaders suggests that Pilate was already familiar with leadership and responsibility from an early age. This solid foundation was crucial for his appointment as governor, a role that would require both strength and diplomacy. Appointment as governor, rise to power. In 26 BC, under the reign of Emperor Tiberius, Pontius Pilate was appointed the fifth governor of Judea. This position was not just an honorific title. It gave Pilate significant political and military authority in one of the Roman Empire's most volatile provinces. Pilate's appointment came at a time of transition, following the removal of Archelaus, Herod's son, from the position of ruler. Tiberius needed a firm and effective administrator to maintain order in a region known for its religious and cultural tensions. Pilate, with his military background and administrative experience, seemed to be the ideal choice for this delicate task. Taking over the government of Judea meant facing a population resistant to Roman domination, as well as dealing with influential religious leaders. Pilate's ability to balance these demands would be tested from the start, shaping his reputation among both the Romans and the Jews. Curious about how Pilate adapted to his new role? Leave your comment below and join the discussion. Initial challenges: governing in conflicting lands. Early in his rule, Pilate faced a series of challenges that tested his leadership skills. Judea was a province marked by deep religious and cultural divisions, where the Roman presence often generated resentment among the locals. One of Pilate's first major challenges was the attempt to impose Roman symbols in the region. The installation of banners bearing his image and that of the Emperor Tiberius was seen as an affront to the religious sensibilities of the Jews, leading to intense protests. This act not only exacerbated existing tensions, but also established Pilate as a ruthless ruler in the eyes of the locals. In addition, the administration of taxes and tributes was a delicate task. Pilate needed to balance collecting taxes for the empire with maintaining internal peace. Any failure to do so could result in revolts or widespread discontent, threatening the stability of his rule. Can you imagine how difficult it must have been to govern in such a turbulent region? Leave your like so we can continue this historic journey. The night incursion, one step further. In one of the most controversial episodes of his rule, Pilate ordered Roman soldiers to enter Jerusalem at night, bearing the image of the emperor. This act, as well as being a demonstration of power, was perceived as a direct provocation to the religious beliefs of the Jews, who saw any human representation as a violation of their sacred precepts. The night raid caused immediate indignation among the Jews, who considered the Roman presence an affront to their faith and cultural identity. The reaction was swift and vehement, resulting in organized protests and demands for the banners to be removed. Pilate, facing mounting pressure, gave in to the demands of the Jewish leaders and ordered the banners removed. This initial incident, although resolved temporarily, laid the foundations for a tense and conflictual relationship between Pilate and the local population, highlighting the difficulties of governing a province so resistant to Roman domination. Have you ever wondered how small acts can have big consequences? Leave a comment and share your opinion. Provocative constructions. The Temple Aqueduct. Another controversial decision by Pilate was to use the temple funds to build an aqueduct in the area. This measure was seen by the Jews as a desecration of sacred resources, generating even more revolt and resentment against the Roman administration. The construction of the aqueduct not only represented a practical necessity for the infrastructure of Judea, but also symbolized the imposition of Roman authority over local religious symbols. This gesture was interpreted as a lack of respect for Jewish traditions and beliefs, exacerbating already existing tensions. The reaction of the Jewish community was immediate and intense. The use of temple funds for secular purposes was considered a serious offense, leading to even greater protests and strengthening opposition to Pilate. This event highlighted the difficulty of balancing administrative needs with the cultural and religious sensitivities of the local population. Can you imagine the indignation of the Jewish community at this decision? Leave a like if you like this story. The trial of Jesus, the decisive moment. The event that made Pontius Pilate eternal in history was undoubtedly the trial of Jesus of Nazareth. Accused of subversion and defying Roman authority by claiming to be the King of the Jews, Jesus was brought before Pilate to stand trial. During the trial, Pilate faced a delicate situation. Despite recognizing the lack of compelling evidence against Jesus, he was pressured by the Jewish religious leaders and the crowd calling for his crucifixion. The tension between justice and politics became evident, leaving Pilate in a deep moral dilemma. Eventually, aware of the threat of revolt and the need to maintain order, Pilate gave in to the demands of the crowd and ordered Jesus to be condemned to death. This act not only marked the fate of a central figure in Christianity, but also sealed Pilate's reputation as a ruler who, despite his hesitations, chose political expediency over justice. Have you ever thought about how individual decisions can impact generations? Leave your comment and join the conversation. The washing of the hands, symbolism and guilt. After ordering the condemnation of Jesus, Pilate performed a symbolic gesture that would become one of the most remembered of his life: the washing of his hands in front of the crowd. This act was an attempt to absolve himself of responsibility for Jesus' death, shifting the blame onto the will of the people and the religious leaders. The washing of hands, as described in the Gospels, served to demonstrate that Pilate was not directly involved in the final decision, despite being responsible for the verdict. However, this gesture could not relieve the internal and external pressure Pilate was facing, nor could it appease his own conscience. This symbolic moment reflects the complexity of Pilate's position, caught between the obligation to maintain Roman order and the Jews' cries for justice and fairness. The washing of hands has become an enduring metaphor for the evasion of responsibility, leaving an indelible mark on Pilate's historical perception. Have you ever heard of Pilate's famous gesture? Leave a like and tell us what you think of this symbolism. Conflicts with the Samaritans, the last fuse. A few years after the trial of Jesus, Pilate faced an incident that would seal his fate as governor. Near Mount Gerizim, he ordered the massacre of a group of Samaritans, a brutal action that further intensified tensions in the region. The Samaritans, a community already marginalized and often in conflict with the Jews, suffered under Pilate's administration. The massacre was seen as a display of ruthlessness and cruelty, fueling hatred and resentment against the Roman governor. This final act by Pilate not only cemented his reputation as a ruthless ruler, but also ensured his dismissal by the Roman Empire. Widespread dissatisfaction and the perception of Pilate as a tyrant insensitive to the needs of his subjects led to the end of his mandate in Judea. Can you understand how this final event impacted Pilate's career? Leave a comment and share your opinion. The fall of Pilate, dismissal and exile. The removal of Pontius Pilate took place around 36 BC after the massacre of the Samaritans. Emperor Tiberius, concerned about the growing instability in Judea, decided to remove Pilate from office, sending him back to Rome to give an account of his administration. The return to Rome marked the end of Pilate's public career, but his fate after this period remains shrouded in mystery. Some historical sources suggest that he was forced to take his own life during the reign of Caligula, his successor on the Roman throne, while other theories indicate that he may have retired quietly. Regardless of the exact outcome, Pilate's fall exemplifies the dangers and challenges faced by rulers in positions of power. His administration in Judea, marked by conflict and unpopular decisions, eventually led to his downfall and the gradual forgetting of his legacy, as well as the historical implications of his actions. Curious about what happened to Pilate after his removal from office? Leave your like and keep following our story. Historical legacy between history and religion. Pontius Pilate left a complex legacy that transcends historical records. For many, he symbolizes the corruption and injustice of Roman rule, a ruler who sacrificed justice for the maintenance of power. On the other hand, his story is a reminder of the difficulties of governing in times of intense cultural and religious turmoil. The figure of Pilate is widely debated among historians and theologians. While some narratives portray him as a hesitant man, struggling between duty and morality, others paint him as a ruthless tyrant, willing to do anything to maintain his position. This duality makes Pilate a fascinating and multifaceted figure in ancient history. In addition, Pilate's presence in the Gospels and other religious sources adds a layer of complexity to his legacy. His participation in the trial of Jesus places him at the center of one of the most significant events in religious history, ensuring that his name will continue to be discussed and analyzed for centuries to come. Do you see Pilate more as a villain or a victim of circumstance? Leave your opinion in the comments. Pilate's stone, archaeological evidence. In addition to written accounts, some archaeological remains confirm the existence and actions of Pontius Pilate. The discovery of the famous Pilate stone in Caesarea in 1961 is one of the most significant finds. This stone, with an inscription mentioning Pilate's name and the Emperor Tiberius, is the only known inscription about a Roman governor of Judea before the Jewish-Roman wars. The stone not only confirms Pilate's presence in Judea, but also offers insights into Roman administration in the region. It demonstrates the interconnection between local authority and the empire, reinforcing Pilate's importance as an agent of Roman power. In addition to the stone, coins minted during his rule have also survived, offering further evidence of his administration and the policies implemented during his term. These archaeological artifacts are fundamental to a better understanding of Pilate's historical context and influence in Judea. Interested in the archaeological discoveries about Pilate? Leave your like and explore more with us. The impact of his decisions. Pontius Pilate's decisions had a profound impact not only on his life, but also on the religious and cultural history of the world. His participation in the trial of Jesus has become a point of reflection on leadership, morality, and responsibility, influencing the Christian narrative and the historical perception of rulers. By giving in to political and social pressures, Pilate exemplifies the dilemmas faced by leaders in positions of power. His story serves as a reminder of the consequences that today's decisions can have on future generations, shaping the perception and legacy of individuals and entire civilizations. In addition, the figure of Pilate continues to be a subject of study and debate, inspiring literary, artistic, and theological works that explore his complexity and the lessons his life offers about governance and ethics. The legacy of Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate is more than just a name in an ancient text. He represents the dilemmas and challenges faced by leaders in turbulent times, highlighting the importance of individual decisions in shaping history. His participation in the trial of Jesus became a historical landmark that resonates to this day, offering valuable lessons about power, responsibility, and morality. He left an indelible mark on history, serving as a case study on the complexity of leadership and the lasting impacts of human decisions. His story continues to inspire deep reflection and influence modern understanding of power and justice. If you enjoyed this trip back in time and want more fascinating stories like this one, subscribe to the channel, leave your like and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching and see you next time.